Well, about 20 minutes ago, you heard from President Joe Biden following his trip to Israel. The president's speech laid out the U.S. response to the Hamas attacks.
Tonight, we welcome to our CBS News Miami studios Rabbi Yossi Harlig of Chabad, Kendall, and Pinecrest. So you heard the president's speech tonight. What'd you think?
I think the president from day one, from October 7th, when that atrocity happened, when over 1,300 people were murdered, men, women, children, Holocaust survivors, and kidnapped. From the first moment, the president said right away, he understands what Israel is facing. Hamas wants to wipe out the Jewish people, wants to destroy Israel, and he's going to stand there with them, for them. And he also made it very clear, fighting Hamas is not just there to protect Israel, but it's also protecting the rest of the world. And for the last, from the 7th until tonight, he stayed on point, bringing out that point over and over again. And this is something so important that Israel needs.
We've been reporting that Israel is gearing up for a ground offensive in Gaza. We know here locally we have a lot of people who have loved ones serving in the Israeli Defense Forces or who have served. So two questions. What are you hearing from families who have loved ones? And I understand you also know people impacted because their loved ones are kidnapped and being held hostage right now.
Correct. I have two families in our synagogue that have family members that are held hostage in Gaza. Mm-hmm. Plus, I have my own family in Israel and people in the community that their children on the front line. So it's really two feelings. On one hand, they're very worried because they understand what war is and the danger of war and, unfortunately, what we have to do in order to root out the terrorism and the Hamas. But on the other hand, everyone's feeling very proud and very strong and very determined that we have to there not just to fight for Israel, but we have to fight for the survival of the Jewish nation. This is a real serious threat. So they're very passionate and looking forward to finally winning this war.
Of course, many view the timing of this attack by the Hamas militants into Israel as a way to wreck the hopes for long-term peace in the Middle East. So did Hamas succeed in accomplishing that?
In short term, I think it did affect it. But I think in long term, we hope now with this story that the world will realize what Hamas's goal is, that they're really not there to protect the Palestinian people. They're not there, definitely not for the Jewish people. They're there to cause havoc in the world that continue to be a destructive world. So we see a lot of nations coming around and looking and saying, you know what, we have to root this out. So our wish and goal in life is to have a world of peace and living together in harmony.
As we continue to follow the conflict, what's the most important thing that we can tell people at home watching who have a connection or maybe don't feel so connected to what's going on?
One of the things is, number one, we have to stand up for evil, and it's our responsibility to get rid of evil in the world. And if we don't, it's going to come to our back door too. The second thing is that we also have to realize is that we're going to win the war, and we shouldn't give in to terrorism, where terrorism thinks they want to scare us. But we have to stand strong and proud to be Jewish, strong and proud to be an American. And when we show them that we're not going to be scared from them and we're not going to give in to what they're trying to do, then it gives us the strength to overcome this war. And we cannot give in to terrorism, and we will not give in to terrorism.
Rabbi, we thank you so much for your time and joining us tonight. And of course, thoughts and prayers throughout South Florida are with you and your loved ones over there. And all we can do, obviously, is pray for peace in the short and the long term.
And that, I want to tell you, it makes a big difference for us all over the world. They say the world is coming together to support us, to understand our struggle, and that gives us the strength we need in this difficult time. So we can't thank you enough for being there for us.
Rabbi Yossi Harlig, thank you so much.
Thank you, and we'll continue the discussion and keep in touch.
Thank you.